Welcome to the Marriage Steps program. We're developing a long-lasting, happy relationship is the status symbol to achieve. And following my 6 marriage steps is a path to help get you there. I'm your host, Dr. Wyatt Fisher, a licensed psychologist specializing in marriage counseling. Coming to you live from Facebook, weekdays at Mountain Standard Time at 5 p.m. So be sure to join me and share this program with your family and friends. If you have a comment or questions about the program as we go tonight, be sure to enter it into the comment section, and then I'll respond to it at the end of the program. Okay, the first marriage fact of the night. Marital satisfaction improves after kids leave home unless kids masked underlying marital problems. So on average, if you have kids, marriage satisfaction goes down when you have kids because having kids is stressful, puts a lot of demands on you, there's differences in parenting styles. So for a lot of people, after the kids move out, marital satisfaction improves. But that's only true if you're maintaining a good marriage while you have kids. Unfortunately, a lot of couples, when they have kids, they use the kids to mask their marriage problems. And maybe they start gaining an alliance with one child, and that's where some of their needs are met. And they don't share that connection with their partner, and they use the kids to help mask the marriage problems. And then when the kids move out, their marriage doesn't improve because now they've seen they have some marriage problems they have to work out. So if you have kids, it's normal that marriage satisfaction can be lower, but make sure you're not using your kids to mask marriage problems. The next marriage fact of the night, in marriage arguments, it should never be about a winner and a loser. Do you ever feel like that? When you have an argument, are you more focused on who's winning the argument versus who's losing the argument? It's easy to go there. I've gone there in arguments with my wife. But the moment you go down that path is the moment you stop thinking like a team. You're a team in your marriage. You should be a team even in your arguments. And if you're more focused on who's winning and who's losing, that in and of itself is going to sabotage the outcome of that argument. So instead, when you're having an argument, always be thinking about what's my partner's perspective? What's their experience of me? What are their feelings on this topic? What core need are they having on this issue? And what are mine? Those are the main things you want to be conveying because it's never about who's right and who's wrong. It's more about understanding both people's perspective so you can get to a win-win on the other side. Okay, so the marriage jokes of the night. Marriage joke number 1. I've never been married, but I can imagine how it feels. I once had a stone stuck in my shoe for 10 hours. Do you feel like that sometimes? Sometimes your partner is like a stone stuck in your shoe, this little irritant that won't go away. That's normal. That's part of married life is learning. I heard it said this way once and I loved it. Marriage is learning how to deal with the side effects of being with someone you love. And that's pretty well said. Okay, the next marriage joke. I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high, and she looked really surprised to hear it. You may need to let that one soak in, but that's a good one. Okay, so the marriage message of the night is 4 ways to foster relationships during the coronavirus. The first way is to acknowledge that you need them because we're all in quarantine right now, so a lot of our social interactions are not there. Maybe you're used to going to the office every day. That's not there right now. Maybe you're used to going to the grocery store daily. You're not going that often for sure. All of these social interactions that we typically have are now shut down. They're closed off. And that's hard. That's hard for a lot of us. Some of us more than others. But the first thing you want to acknowledge is that we all need social relationships. Introverts need social relationships less because they get recharged by being alone. Extroverts get recharged by being with other people. But on the whole spectrum, it's important to recognize that all of us need relationships on some level. So it's important for you to acknowledge that you need relationships because we're wired for relationships. The second thing to consider is the health benefits of staying connected, the health benefits of relationships. There's a lot of research that supports the more connected you feel, the less depressed you feel, and vice versa. The more lonely you feel, the more depressed you feel. So relationships are vital to our mental health. And if you want to have strong mental health, that's going to give you strong physical health and it'll improve your immune system to help you fight illness and disease. So one way you can stay strong mentally and physically during this pandemic is stay connected. You want to stay connected with people in your life, people you care about. So that leads to number 3. What are your connecting rituals you already have to stay connected with people in your life? And if you don't have some, how could you develop some? We all need connecting rituals with family and with friends. So some connecting rituals I have in my life, for example, is I have a men's group that I'm a part of Monday nights, and normally we meet in my basement. We're not meeting anymore, but this week we're going to start meeting on Zoom. So we're going to have this Zoom ritual instead of in person so we can continue that connection. That's a ritual, a connecting ritual. Another ritual I have is I talk with my mom on the phone every Tuesday morning. And I talk with my sister on the phone every other Sunday afternoon. Those are some connecting rituals. I have another friend who lives out of state, and we talk Tuesday afternoon every week. Connecting rituals. What kind of connecting rituals do you have to stay close to people during the pandemic? Or maybe you need to create some. What could those be for you? But you can guarantee that you need them. Some of you may need more than others, but we all need to stay connected during this time, because as we're socially connected, we're going to feel better mentally and physically, and it's going to keep our immune system strong. The last thing to consider are what are some engaging rituals you can have with your partner, because you're with your partner more than probably you ever have since your honeymoon. How can you make the most of it? And maybe you need to make some tweaks to how you spend time with your partner. Maybe you want more emotional closeness, so you want to talk more about your heart and your struggles, and you want to hear their heart and their struggles. So the head heart check is good for this. Mad, sad, glad, or fear, and why. For others of you, though, maybe you want more activities with your partner, and that will help you feel more connected. For others of you, maybe you want to learn something together with your partner, so maybe you can read a book together or watch an online tutorial on how to bake a cake or whatever floats your boat. But consider what kind of connecting rituals can you engage with your partner, because utilize this time as a unique opportunity to increase the enrichment of your connection with your spouse. What would that look like for you? So those are the 4 things to consider to foster relationships during the coronavirus. You need to first acknowledge your need for relationships. 2, think about the health benefits of relationships. 3, think about connecting rituals you can develop if you haven't already. And 4th, think about intentionally how you can engage your partner more than you already are. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put it into the comment section. I'd be happy to answer those questions. Otherwise, you can direct message me or email me at info@drwyattfisher.com. Thank you for listening to the Marriage Steps program. For more marriage resources, go to my website, drwyattfisher.com. If you enjoyed the program tonight, be sure to share it with your family and friends and leave a review. The Marriage Steps program is listener supported, so to help keep it on the air, please consider becoming a monthly supporter by going to patreon.com/marriage steps. And remember, your marriage is alive. If you have a plant in your house, look at it this week. And every time you look at it, think about how your marriage is just like that plant. If you neglect that plant, what happens? It starts to wilt and die. And our marriage is the same way. So take that plant out, focus on it, nurture it, and it'll start to grow. Take care.